Monday Night Football. The Miami Dolphins are on the road to take on the Los Angeles Rams. My best bets are on the way. In this video, I got one player prop and one same game parlay, as well as I'll talk who I think wins and covers in this game. If you are new, my name is Austin from Calling Our Shot. As always, we begin with a recap of how we done on Sunday, and it's been an annoying day. We're still technically profitable, plus 0.15, basically break even. We started the day with Tyrone Tracy's over in rush yards. We also took him up to 100 plus. He came through before fumbling in overtime. I digress. K-Don was a pretty sharp read. He went under. We had a Downs and Broncos and Chiefs parlay that cashed. Rico Dowdle over in rush attempts cashed as well. Our losers, Bijan under in rush attempts. If the Saints had done anything offensively in the second half, it probably cashes. But I swear, every time the Saints got the ball, it was a 3-and-out. Here's a punt. So Falcons ran a ton of plays. I'll live with that read. Breece Hall, I mean, what the heck are the Jets doing? I don't know. And then I'm chalking up the Lions and Texans SGP. I'm recording this at halftime, so technically that game's still going on. That same game parlay is cooked. Right now, Joe Mixon has like 12 carries for 10 yards. If that somehow miraculously hits, I'll fix the recap in the next video. The one loser that really aggrandizes me, Ridley's under in receptions. He got his fifth one with 8 seconds on the clock in the fourth quarter, garbage time. Painful. I've been telling you guys the last few weeks, we're trying to just break through and just have that monster week. I loved all the plays this week. Really felt like we deserved a little bit better than a break-even day. Had a pretty good Thursday night. Okay, Sunday. Trying to have a good Monday night. We got 2 picks. Let's dive into them. I have nothing else to promote. If you ever need any sportsbook sign-up links or daily fantasy app promotions and stuff like that, all those details are down below. Thanks for tuning in. First pick of the day, Puka Nacua. I like his over 67.5 receiving yards, minus 113 on FanDuel. This is my favorite prop in this game. There's a couple others that I'd looked at, but I feel like Puka Nacua is my favorite one at 67.5 receiving yards. Probably played up to about 72.5. I looked hand in hand at his receptions, which is about 5.5 juiced on the over. I just think if he gets the 6 receptions, hopefully he's getting some yards and we can cash this over. If he doesn't get the 6 receptions, I still think he has a chance at going over. Now, obviously, if you've had Puka Nacua in fantasy or if you've been betting on him, he kind of had a weird year. I mean, he's played 3 games, if you will. He played in week 1 when he had 4 receptions for 35 yards. Then got injured, only played 32% of snaps. Then he returned in week 8. That was that weird game on Thursday night. They were like, oh, surprise, Puka's playing. And everyone's like, yeah, well, there's no way he's doing anything. Yeah, somehow he had 7 receptions for 106 yards. And then last week, 1 catch, 4 targets, 11 yards. He got ejected. I mean, his season's been really weird, but supposedly he's fully healthy right now, and barring anything random like that where he gets injured or an ejection, we should see Puka Nacua back on the field for the 80 to 90% of snaps that he typically plays. I mean, that's what he was playing all last season, and granted, Cooper Kupp was in and out of the lineup then, but still, Puka Nacua, if he's healthy and not getting ejected or injured, he's going to be out there a lot of the time. And we saw last year, obviously, a historical rookie season. And also, you look at his other lines. Like I said, his receptions line set at 5.5, pretty juiced on the over, like minus 125, minus 130. Last season, Puka had 70 or more receiving yards, hit this over in 10 of 11 games when he had 5 receptions. So I'm not even saying he cashes the 6. If he had 5, which is probably like minus 200 or something, he had a pretty good chance at going over this line. Also had a lot of great games at home. Historically, last year, he was pretty bad on the road. I mean, pretty bad in quotation marks. Still pretty good, but a lot of his unders did come on the road last season. Obviously, he's at home. If you look at the Dolphins' stats versus wide receivers, you'd be like, oh, they've been pretty good to perimeter guys, this and that. But I feel like this is a little bit deflated based on some of the quarterbacks they've seen. I mean, heck, in the last 5 weeks, they've seen Anthony Richardson, Jacoby Brissett, and Levis/Mason Rudolph. I mean, those are 3 of arguably the worst passing attacks in the league. Those teams can't even throw the ball. The guys that have been able to throw it, like Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, and Josh Allen, the one time where he wasn't getting, Tua was throwing 8 interceptions. Yeah, all those guys have had pretty big games against this Dolphins passing defense. They've struggled against the deep ball where we could see Puka try to stretch the field. And I just think Puka is going to get some yards, and he'll get some yards after catch. And that's kind of how they use him. He'll get some screen plays, but he obviously can take up the field for 10, 15, maybe even more yards. Elite after the catch. Now fully healthy. Coming off an ejection game, he should be locked and loaded to ready to go to finally get to where we've seen Puka Nacua from last year when he set some records. I think it's a big spot for him against the Miami Dolphins. So give me Puka Nacua. Give me his over in receiving yards at 67.5. I'd play it up to about 72.5. I don't think it goes up that high, but I think 67.5 is a pretty solid line for Puka. Count me in for 1 unit. Now, let's talk about who I think wins in this covers in this game, and then I'll get into my same game parlay, which on Thursday, we cashed our same game parlay. We'll try to do it again. In this game, I do lean the Rams minus 2.5. Is it my favorite lean of the week? Not really. I just feel like this is a team that's been pretty good at home, 3-1. Dolphins feel like New York Jets. I'm a Jets fan. I know, just tragedy when I see it. The Dolphins are tragedy. They look good, and then something happens. They're like, what? How do we lose this game? That's the Dolphins in a nutshell. Matthew Stafford's still very underrated, despite being a Super Bowl champ. I really like the Rams. They're finally getting healthy, getting some guys back on the offensive line, and also their defense, like second in pressure rate. They really get to QBs, and that could be trouble for a guy like Tua Tagovailoa, who obviously doesn't want to scramble a ton. We could see some trouble for Tua. So I like the Rams minus 2.5. Don't you take my word for it. Obviously, do your guys' research, but I think the Rams win this game. We'll see how it goes. Dolphins they can't get out of their own way, and we'll see if Tyreek Hill plays. I don't know if he'll play or not. I anticipate he plays, but he's questionable for this game. Finally, let's wrap up the video talking about a same game parlay. Last, on Thursday Night Football, we cashed. Hopefully, we can cash another one. I'm only playing this for a half unit as opposed to a full unit for Puka. Here's my half unit same game parlay. Kyron Williams to score a touchdown. Devon Achane, 40-plus rushing yards. Puka Nacua, 4-plus receptions. And Matthew Stafford, 200-plus passing yards. This is plus 196 on FanDuel. Now, if you don't have Achane for 40-plus, I'm fine with him at 50. That could be getting a little bit tight. I could see him ending in the high 40s, but I do think he gets you 40, probably gets up to 50. Obviously, you guys know I like Puka, and Matthew Stafford pass yards. I guess you can go to 225. You can probably go higher. I like him. Now, let's talk about this one. It's about plus 200 on FanDuel. So if it does cash, we'll win back one unit, basically. Kyron Williams, we'll begin with him to score a touchdown. He has 10 touchdowns this season. He's been a beast. He has a touchdown in the first 7 games of the season before falling flat last week. He did not get the job done. They'll fix that, but honestly, you can't really predict touchdowns. But this is the guy that gets the ball at the goal line. That is his job. Also has a couple receiving touchdowns on the year, which is obviously is nice. You have a chance there too. The Dolphins have allowed 10 rushing touchdowns this year, 9th most. When they're getting close, Kyron's going to get some looks. I'm confident he at least punches one in. I don't know if it's he has 100-plus rushing yards. I just think he gets in the end zone, whether it's in the receiving game or the rushing attack. I like him to get in the end zone. Next up, Devon Achane to get 40 rush yards. His last 3 games, he's been very good. 77, 97, and 63 rush yards. He played 69% of snaps last week, the most since week 4. Again, the Rams are great at getting pressure. If the Dolphins are going to have any chance of winning this game, they have to slow down that pass rush, and that's got to be running the football. Slow them down, make them have to respect the run, and put in those guys instead of their normal elite pass rushers. So I see Achane, their clear RB1. He could do some damage in the receiving game, but I'd rather him on the ground here. I think he's finally getting back to what we saw from him last season. He's kind of having more of those explosive runs. He obviously has that explosiveness in him. I like him 40-plus rushing yards. Next up, I have Puka Nacua for 4 receptions. I've already talked about Puka enough. If you want to know why I like Puka, just go back a couple minutes in the video to hear why I like him. And then finally, Stafford to get 200 passing yards. He's done that in 7 of 8 this season. 13 of 15 last season. One of the games he didn't last year, he got injured in. So again, I like all these ones. I think this is a winner. It's at plus 196 on FanDuel. Again, to recap the legs, Kyron Williams touchdown, Devon Achane 40 rushing yards, Puka to get 4 catches. You could pivot to him getting some yards if you want, and Matthew Stafford 200 pass yards, plus 196 on FanDuel, just a half unit play. So those are my favorite picks. I'm going to keep it simple. That 4-leg SGP, Puka Nacua is regular and over in receiving yards, and hopefully go 2-0 and end a annoying Sunday, but overall a decent week for us. So let's try to go 2-0 and wrap up this week 10. Move on to week 11, where hopefully we can have a little bit of luck to go our way. I feel like I keep getting super unlucky, and it's annoying. But we can't obviously control that. Eventually, things are going to start to go your way. Just the variance is going to even itself out over the long run. At least you have to hope. But either way, those are my favorite picks. Good luck on all your wagers. Good luck in the end of week 10. Have fun watching Monday Night Football, and I'll see you guys in the other videos, like our NBA video once it is live. I'll link it on the screen. Monday's NBA Best Bets. Good luck. Have a great day. See you in the next one. Peace.